So, hi Jeannine, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I've had a big old week. It's one that flew by, but
It has been a big week.
yeah,
For me too.
I feel like I did a lot of things, but I also wonder where the week went. So
What happened to Monday and Tuesday?
I don't know. I feel like last week I was at the markets down in Toluca Lake, and we had an experience where this lady, she was very well versed in sales. It seemed like she may have worked for Avon or one of these companies. And we just walked past a stand, and this lady, she, obviously very, very sales oriented, and she ended up spraying Margot with some who knows what. And we drove past there again today, and I thought, wait, it's been a week since that happened, because Margot rushed home and washed her arms, and it smelled pretty bad. It was cheap.
Yes.
Yeah. But how's your week? What's been occurring this week for you?
Well, parts of it were very exciting.
Yeah.
We went out to the desert.
Yes, we did. We have an episode coming up on that.
And then we went to a BMW event.
Yes, we did.
At
Also
Santa
another
Anita.
episode.
Yes, that was fun. And we managed to zip up to Mount Wilson, which was gorgeous.
Yep.
I was thinking today, I don't think we passed one car going up there.
Oh, we did, but we just didn't notice it.
Didn't notice.
No.
It was really a lovely drive.
Yeah.
So it's been Monday and Tuesday, I don't remember at all. It didn't exist. But Wednesday through Sunday, today, pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
So we have like 2 or 3 episodes that we shot this week. So if you haven't already found us on YouTube, be sure to jump over there at Never Say Die, the channel. What were you about to say?
I said, and today I saw Tamara, my friend who's in an assisted living facility.
And she has Alzheimer's, yes?
She has, yes, Alzheimer's. And she's doing well. I learned something today, and I hope the people that I took with me learned too, that if you engage her, truly engage her, talk to her and say, do you remember, and wasn't that fun, or do you remember when your husband used to do this? She immediately attempts to engage, and she's happy. When I left her today, she said it was like Christmas for her.
Oh, bless.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
And she complained about not having a car, and I said, I have a solution. Its name is Ian. I said, it's on your phone. You give him a call, tell him where you want to go, and he'll help you.
Yeah, but she may not remember.
No, she won't. It's okay.
Yeah, I know.
But she was happy today, so I was happy.
Wonderful. Yeah, it's definitely something to go through. I know with Margot's mother, she had a form of Alzheimer's, and where we believe that her father or stepfather has the same sort of affliction, and it's crazy making in the person that deals with it. And I feel like often I notice that the person who has the thing doesn't notice as much as the people who have to deal with the person who has the thing.
I think that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. They're in denial, and
or blissful ignorance, maybe.
Blissfully in denial. Yes, that's Tamara.
Yeah.
She'll say to me, "Oh, my memory is not good," and I say to myself, "Not good. It doesn't exist."
Yeah. I did a course with this crew called Landmark years ago, and one of the big breakthroughs. You did too?
I did too.
One of the big breakthroughs is where they say, you don't know that you don't know what you don't know. And it's one of those things that when you really think through that statement, you go, yeah, I don't know that I don't know what I don't know, and I also don't know what I don't know. So you end up in this space of openness where everything's possible.
Possibilities, yes.
But I think with Alzheimer's, they're really in that space of not knowing what they don't know, because even what they did know isn't there anymore.
Yeah.
So
I do know that she responds well to being hugged.
Oh, bless.
As most people, but she never forgot that.
Yeah.
And laughing. And we talk about, she used to be one of the prettiest women in Los Angeles. And when I say to her, I think we should have your hair trimmed right below your chin, because I know how gorgeous you are when you do that. And she'll say, oh, I'm not. And I'll say, I'm living proof. I know what you look like. Yeah. And then she loves that. She loves to do that kind of thing. And I'm more than happy to do that with her. She's my friend of like 40 years, And to see her disappear before my eyes breaks my heart.
Let's go a little deeper, because I know you well, but I also know that sometimes when things get real, you don't want to talk about it.
That's right.
Would you like to talk a little bit about it and, I guess, dig a little deeper?
Well, I think with Tamara, she'll say, when she was more lucid and more present, she would say too that we were sisters. We've always been sisters. like this. She was very adventuresome when she was younger. She would call me up and 10 o'clock at night and say, I just saw this ad for a cheap flight to New York. You want to go and we'll visit? I go, yeah. She'll say, okay, I'll make the reservation. You get the hotel. And I'd say, okay. And 2 days later, we were on a plane to New York to see some art gallery. And it didn't matter what it was. It was just doing the thing together, like with your best friend. It was so much fun. We went to New Orleans. We went to Miami. We went to New York. And we'd find cheap hotels,
I guess what I was asking is, how does it truly affect you in the now?
Now?
Yeah, I mean,
it's one of the
such a
saddest
friendship.
things I've ever experienced. It's a never goes away sadness, seeing her. And I try hard, like today, to see the joy. But if I call her right now and say, remember today? She'll say, today? No, and what are you talking about?
Right.
So then I don't do that to her. I just say to myself, hang on to what you experienced today with her and just hold it to your heart and just know that this is a disease. She had nothing to do with it.
So how do you think that affects you when, and I really want you to hear the question that I'm deeply trying to ask, how do you think that affects you knowing that these moments that you spend and share with her, for her in a brief moment they don't exist, and then for you they do? So it's like this weird dichotomy in the presence of the now where it matters but it doesn't. And
it does matter to me. It does. It feels good, and I'm trying to remember the good things. I can't control this disease. Nobody can.
Yeah.
So the little bit of joy I get with her, I hang on to really tight because I love her. We've always been good friends, laughing and giggling through life, through many boyfriends, few husbands thrown in there and thrown out.
Is I know they say womanizer, but is there a term manizer? Is that what you got?
Oh, I'm sure we were kind of cruel at points,
Nice.
But she was always, we would go someplace, and I knew the minute we walked in, all heads would turn because she was so, she still is, but she was so attractive, so different and so dynamic looking.
Yeah.
I'm sad. Sad. I try, though, Ian, not to carry the sadness with me because there's nothing I can do except just be there for her.
Yeah.
I can't change it. She still recognizes me, and I love that fact.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I don't carry the sadness
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah, it always brings me joy when she's like, of course I remember Ian. And I
Yes,
think, okay, well, I made the list.
Right, yeah. And she remembers Christian also.
Good. I mean, I got to say, I've seen it much more progressed in other people, and hers, in some ways, it's very there, and in other ways that really kind of help us, it's
Yeah.
not. She
Yes.
remembers us.
I know every once in a while she absolutely stops me in my tracks. She'll remember something that I had forgotten.
Yeah.
And I go, oh,
Yeah. Well, on to more upbeat topics.
okay, yes.
It's not much more upbeat, but I was just thinking about this week. I know that on social media, after everything that's happened in the world with assassinations, and it's been quite a divisive week with, for me, I posted something I thought was innocuous, and I thought it was a good point that someone from their own community was saying about, things, and I thought, oh, okay, he seems to be making a good point, and I posted it. And somebody else called me back and they said, you're racist. And I was like, I was posting a black man talking about the black community from his words. I didn't add anything, and I thought I was doing something right. Somebody else who calls himself black, but black in a Fijian Australian way, not a African American way. And what I posted was from an African American about African Americans. So he came at me, and I was like, interesting. And I thought, okay, I'll listen to your points. And I saw his points, and it kind of sounded like he was calling me racist. And I thought, well, I'm not, so I'm not going to take that on. And then I just didn't respond. I thought, I'm only validating what he's saying by responding, so I didn't. And then I spoke to Margot, and she's like, oh, all over my social media, it's just, a lot of contempt and assertion of rightness and recruiting and really like trigger, ragey kind of like, us versus them. So we've both ended up taking time from social media, and I've noticed it in the traffic. People are, a little bit at each other as well. Even yesterday, a guy reversing his truck up this street, I went out to help him because his truck was so big.
Yes.
And I was basically saying, because I thought he didn't know where he was going. Turns out he was going to see Beth at the end of the street. No problem. So if he's driving up forwards, he probably can reverse back and he knows where he's going. I was just going out to helpfully say that if you were trying to turn around at the end, you've got no chance. We see it every week. So many cars get stuck here. But then on the way down, he kind of made this snide, snippy, got to have the last point, got to be right comment. And I was in my open studio and he's on the street out there and he calls in and I thought, you know what, I'm not going to respond. I guess I'm wondering if you've seen that at all in your life this week, this sort of heated conflict energy.
I have, and some of it, lots of it has to do with that young man who was assassinated.
Yeah.
It struck me hard. It made me very, very sad because it strikes at the basics in my own soul, the freedom of speech, the care and loving you can give to someone who doesn't have the same opinion.
Exactly.
I mean, some of my best friends have exactly opposite feelings from mine, and I love that because it makes me think constantly.
Agreed.
I want to explore,
Yeah.
but that assassination, I think I'll never forget that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a day I'll never forget.
No. Yeah, and I think you really sort of hit it because, whether it's America or anywhere else,
it doesn't matter.
I
no.
believe everyone has the right for free speech because
Yes.
your
Especially
brain...
in this country, it's written into our Constitution.
Well, yeah, and especially, but also everywhere else as well, because your brain is your safe space. If you're going to think a thing, that's
That's
safe
yours,
space.
yeah.
And then holding opinions about whatever you hold opinions about, that's your safe space.
Yeah.
But when we go outside of ourselves and start telling people that they're wrong for certain things, I think we've entered this space where even Orwell talked about this when he said that people will become the police. And that metaphor is actually coming true. Mm-hmm. With people policing each other. We're policing each other's viewpoints. We're policing each other's, rightness to hold a viewpoint rather than saying, wow, you hold a different viewpoint.
Right. And tell me more.
Yeah.
I'd like to understand.
Exactly. Understand.
I don't have as much information about that as you do.
Exactly. And I agree with some people when they say that Charlie Kirk was confrontational, hostile, and sometimes, a little bit...
We all are.
Well, we all are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we don't have to be.
No.
I strive not to be.
I do too.
But so I'm not going to say we all are because...
But you have a right to do that.
Well, again, it's not a right. It's just sometimes a knee jerk, So I won't defend that right either because for me, I'm really striving to not be that way. Mm-hmm. I think if you say you've got a right to be, you're back over there with those people being angry at everyone else. And for me, I'm going, okay, how do I befriend everyone? How do I hold my opinion about X, Y, or Z and also hold the openness to have those opinions challenged and maybe even changed through conversation?
Through conversation, yes.
Right. So it's...
Information, good information.
Yeah.
Solid facts.
Exactly. Yeah.
Whatever, yeah.
So it's... What are your thoughts, I guess, on this? How are you dealing with this conflicting time?
I'm trying, in my own mind, I am dedicated more than ever to looking at both sides of a problem or a question and hearing what people have to say and not getting emotional about just listening to it and saying, oh, yeah, right. Oh, I'll think about that. For instance, some conspiracy theories, which I vehemently argued about, even with you, and now I'm realizing that some facts are dribbling through into my brain that make me stop and think, I better look into this more and not be so adamantly opposed or agree or whatever I'm feeling.
Yeah, I think you might be talking about that post that I sent you.
Yes.
So just for the audience, if you want, we can send you the post just via message. I prefer not to post it because these sorts of things are divisive. But there was a hearing which unequivocally proved that chemtrails and weather modification is absolutely, irrevocably true. And I think that's we discussed this. You said it was sad for you.
Oh, terribly sad.
And whereas for me, I think that's such a positive thing because, like those 12-step programs, you can only start healing once you admit you have a problem. And this is kind of like society admitting we have a problem.
Well, you know how I would always oppose what you said about chemtrails. And then I saw this video that you sent me today, and they talked about shooting into the clouds to make rain. Well, of course we do that. As a kid, my dad used to talk about the farmers shooting stuff into the clouds to make it rain, and I'm thinking, Jeannine, hello?
Well, I mean, it's there's oranges and apples on that one. Putting things in there to make it rain versus deflecting sunlight and affecting whole planetary systems is a very different thing.
Well, but what came to mind was maybe some of these other theories that I've heard and opposed, maybe there's some truth to that.
Well, yeah.
And maybe I should listen more carefully before I set my heels.
Well, I've always said to you, if I'm telling you something, it's because I'm not easily shifted to any viewpoint unless there is a great amount of what I would deem scientific research.
Mm-hmm.
But sadly, not everyone deems what is scientific research as scientific research unless it's actually got the stamp of approval of one of the Ivy League colleges in America. So we have all of these peer-reviewed science. Peer-reviewed science basically is where one guy says, hey, I think this is a thing. He does some work on it, does some scientific research, and he's like, hey, it looks like this is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then he puts it out there to the world, and he says, guys, am I right? And then anyone anywhere can pick that up, do their own experiments, and prove or disprove.
Right or wrong. Yeah.
Exactly. So peer-reviewed science is one of these terms that's very good as a term, but often the only ones that actually get bandied around as the truth or fact-checked are the ones that are essentially, they got that stamp of approval from the Ivy League colleges, which who knows where they get the money. I'll leave it at that, right? So for me, I don't put myself into that bin of being a conspiracy theorist, but I will put myself into the bin of someone who is open to looking at anything that might rock the status quo, because I don't believe that we've not been lied to. We've seen it everywhere.
UFOs is a good one. When I was a kid,
right?
That was all very mysterious, and now it's general knowledge.
Yeah, it is. And
you go, oh, really? But what happened with me when I started this journey with you, looking at things, was how much work I had to do. Well, looking at the other side is a lot of reading and a lot of thinking and a lot of discussing.
Yeah, and I will say the work is only observing your prejudices. Yeah. And I think that's really the hardest part for most people is they have the Myers-Briggs type indicator, which is a test you can take, and it tells you what your personality type is.
Oh, what's it called?
Myers-Briggs type indicator. I'll send it to you. You can take it and you can learn for yourself. But one of those types is actually whether or not you're a judging or sensing type personality. And a lot of people are a judging type personality. Yeah. So a judging type personality has the propensity to learn something once and then file it away and then apply similar situations with the previous learning.
Yes, that's true.
So what happens there and what the danger is there is that once we've learned something to be true at a very vulnerable, malleable age, like anywhere between, 1 to 10, maybe 12, maybe 15, basically your childhood, when you don't know any better and you're trusting authority, when you learn these things, you're very unlikely to shift them as you go forwards, regardless of what proof comes in front of you. So that's really where I've, as an adult, gone the other direction, where I'm like, well, I actually, from Landmark, I don't know what I don't know that I don't know.
Yeah. So I went to that too. It was a week or two long, and it was wonderful.
Exactly. And then the fruit of that is presence.
Yeah.
And that's being present to all opinions. If someone has a good point, I listen.
I talked to my brother-in-law several times this week. One was because of the assassination and several other things in our lives. Right. And he lives in Minnesota, which is a very liberal state. Right. And he is not a liberal. He's very conservative politically, which is fine. He's a good person. He's very intelligent. And he hates the politics in Minnesota. And I said to him, well, this is your chance. You could run for office. And he texted back and he said, oh, no. I said, but you have a good mind. You have the time. You have the thoughts. You've been thinking about this for a long time. He said, oh, there are only 12 people in Minnesota that think like I. I said, well, get those 12 together and get this band going. And I would like to see him do something. If he feels that strongly about anything, I don't care what it is, and he has the time and energy, and he does, do something about it.
Yeah, I guess that's democracy, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't know. I think I'm going to kind of niggle at him, because if he feels that adamantly about something, and he has all these gifts.
Well, what's his name? It's Jim.
Jim.
All right. Jim for local Minnesota, Minneapolis representative.
Yeah, Lakeville. He lives in Lakeville.
There we go.
Yeah. And his two sons are somewhat conservative also. There are two people right there, his kids.
Yeah, and you know how I feel about those terms, liberal or
Yeah,
conservative.
right. Yeah.
So just to share the viewpoint, because it is a podcast and get people thinking, for me, I try to avoid those terms at all, because for me, I feel like they actually regress us into a us versus them. So anytime I'm talking about people, I'll always say, well, what's your belief on this policy, or what's your belief on that policy? And I will refuse to use those words wherever possible, because anyone who identifies as liberal will hate a conservative. Anyone who
That's right.
is
As
on
soon
the
as
other
you
side
say those
will-
words, whatever you say after that, you know.
Well, exactly. It's yeah. So it's basically rage bait as
Yeah,
far as I
right,
see it.
right.
Yet they're so frequently bandied in the news and the conversation in this country, and it's one of the most basic toxicities that I think that the country could heal from, is just not identifying as either and not using those words.
Yeah.
You know?
It's really sad to see Congress, in this case, where there's been no movement, no cooperation for, 10, 15 years?
But it's by design. So here's the thing. If I said to you, what do you want to drink, Pepsi or Coke, which would you choose?
Neither.
Well, how can you if you have to drink Pepsi or Coke? And that's what you've got in this country.
Oh.
It's Pepsi or Coke, but we've seen, if you really look into it, time and time again, the only interest that's having itself served is the big business, the finance, the money.
Yeah, the money.
You know, and the more conspiratorial would say the them or the Illuminati or whatever it is that they say is behind it. And for me, I've looked into it. There's no way of proving who's behind it, but you know that businesses, the big ones, they always win. That's all I'll say.
Well, you know, when I was talking to Jim, my brother-in-law, about maybe running for office or getting a group together, and he's saying, oh, no, it's not possible.
Right.
I honestly believe, having now gone through this assassination, I believe that one person can change the way people think or do or feel.
Me too. Yeah.
One person can do that.
Exactly. And for good on one side, for bad on the other.
Right.
And I'm not here nor there. I'm just an observer. But, you know, the one thing everyone can agree on is he made ripple waves for positive and negative depending on perspective. You know, that's,
Yeah.
So, Jeannine.
Yes.
God, we're really chewing the fat today, aren't we?
Yeah, some kind of sad stuff.
Well, you know, it doesn't have to be sad.
No, it doesn't.
I feel like that's the position we frequently have, is you're like, oh, it's sad. And I'm like, no, there's positive
No,
in this.
That's right.
Yeah, so how's your puppy?
My puppy?
Yeah.
I think he's suffering an identity crisis.
Oh.
Because I lead him from his cage to outside, from outside to his cage.
Right.
So now I've incorporated from outside onto the sofa for a little tickle behind the ear and a scratch on the tummy.
Yep.
Because frankly, Ian, I miss him following me around the house. I know I can't do that because he pees everywhere.
Well, you can. Just to give some context for the audience, he was peeing everywhere, and I used to work
everywhere.
Everywhere. So I used to work as a dog trainer, and my advice was, well, you need to get him back on board for knowing where he can pee. So having him in the crate more, if not at all times, will prevent him from peeing. And then you lead him out of the crate, you take him to where he's supposed to pee, and then you catch and congratulate him while he pees. Then you take him straight back in.
Good boy, good boy.
Now, we've been doing this longer than I thought you would do this. So I've been saying maybe it's time for you to stop doing it so much.
Oh, good.
So I think I've said this already, but you're supposed to start easing how much he's in the crate by now. He's supposed to be integrating more, and you're testing whether he
I have
pees.
been putting him on the sofa every day the last few days, talking to him about good stuff.
Yeah, good.
And he seems to be responding to that. So I haven't been home very much, as you know. So when I'm
too
home,
much filming.
Too much filming, right? Running around the mountainside.
Yeah.
But I will make an attempt to do as much as I can when I'm home.
Yeah.
'Cause I love my dog.
Good, then it's time to start letting him out of the crate a little more.
Yeah.
Just keep your eye on him, because that was always the goal.
Yeah, and I want to give him a bath.
Okay, yeah.
Take him in and have him clipped.
Yeah.
My dog's hair grows faster than mine, which is very fast.
Well, we have a groomer now that's quite affordable, and they loved your dog, so we can take them down in North Hollywood.
Yeah,
I think it's called North Doggywood. So if anyone's in the North Hollywood...
North Doggywood?
North Doggywood, yeah.
I love it.
So they're relatively new, and they could use a new business. So
Okay.
if you're in that area, check them out. All right, Jeannine, I think we've gone for 26 minutes today.
Oh, my God.
Oh, well, good conversation.
I live alone, so I don't talk much.
Well,
unless I'm here.
We've chewed the fat.
Yes, over coffee, maybe.
Wonderful. All right,
Yes.
well, I hope you have a great week.
Thank you, and I hope you do too.
All right.
I know you will.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Never Say Die podcast. If you like what you hear, then consider following our main channel on YouTube where we share all our adventures. You can find our social channels in our bio, and don't forget to subscribe so you can keep up with our episodes as they drop. Thanks again. We'll see you on the next one.